Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another Transformers action figure review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Buzzworthy Bumblebee. What the hell is a Buzzworthy Bumblebee? Worlds Collide 4-pack. So anyway, this is a really nice set of figures, and let's just get right on into it by starting with the packaging, and then we'll start with Bumblebee. And just going over the packaging here, it's got that yellow Buzzworthy Bumblebee, yellow like honeycomb kind of look. It's got all the names of the characters right here. It says, Worlds Collide. And then it's got some images here of Bumblebee on the side. Here on the top of the packaging, it's got some hollow gaps in it, and it's got some images of the different characters included in the 4-pack. Nothing much on this side. It does say Transformers, Hasbro, Takara, Tomy, Tommy. Here on this side of the box, authentic Transformers. It's got some images of all 4 of the Transformers included in this 4-pack, and we'll definitely be going over every single one of them. So anyway, let's just get right on into the review by not taking a look at the packaging anymore. And now taking a look at the actually surprisingly very few accessories that are included in this pack. First off, the Black Arachnia comes with a repainted version of Black Arachnia's little grapple gun here. And surprisingly enough, this actually looks like a better version of the accessory that was included with the Legacy Tarantulas. So I think I might actually go and give this to that Tarantulas. And then the Bumblebee figure comes with the same giant bazooka sniper rifle thing that Cliff Jumper came with. And then, this has also been included in with the Gold Bug and the other Cliff Jumper and so many different figures that have used that mold. And, it's got the little, interchangeable parts of these little kickstand kind of ammo clip pieces, and it can split into the 2 pistols, and then it's got that extra piece on the end right there. So, you guys have seen this already, and it's, the main difference about it is that it's painted in this, military green. And then the Nemesis Primal comes with his Optimus Primal swords, only they're now painted up in the red and gray, so it's kind of more reminiscent of the dark Star Saber kind of look that was included with Nemesis Prime a little bit ago. So very nice accessories right here. And then finally, the pack also came with a War for Cybertron All-Spark accessory here in this semi-transparenty opaque yellow plastic. So yeah, very nice little accessory here. Just wish there was a better way to have figures hold this thing. And now taking a look at the Bumblebee figure included in the pack. And hey look, a Bumblebee actually being included in a Buzzworthy Bumblebee pack. For some reason, that seems to be a weird Buzzworthy Bumblebee trend, even though there's no Bumblebees. Going over the Bumblebee's up-close details, his head sculpt here has some very nice silver paint and some blue metallic paint to really make those eyes pop. And again, I always appreciate details such as that. And again, this mold has been used, and I've gone over it once before with that Gold Bug. It's literally the exact same mold, just, painted up in yellow with an Autobot logo, and it's made to look like Bumblebee. Very nice mechanical detailing and everything, because, this is a War for Cybertron figure. And again, I really like the black and yellow. It's just a classic Bumblebee color scheme. Like I said before, again, this figure is basically the same thing, and the backpack is a separate piece, which you can technically use as a shield, but I didn't count this as an accessory, because it really is just an entire chunk of the figure itself. And, yeah, honestly, there's nothing much to really say. I mean, it looks like Bumblebee. The only difference between this and the other War for Cybertron B is that this does not transform into the Volkswagen Bug. This is a, kind of sports car-y kind of look to it. Going over the articulation, there's a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up that far and down that far. It can swivel from side to side. Little bit of head pivoting. Shoulders rotate the full 360. They can move in and out. Got a bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel. And then his waist can rotate as well. And then he's got an arching back, not really an ab crunch. His hips can kick forward. They can kick back that far. They can move outward that far. He does have a thigh swivel. 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And then he does get a deep ankle pivot, which is really good for a figure of his size. Now going over the Black Arachnia. So if none of you are aware of the backstory behind this repaint, The original toy had a very similar color scheme to this, only except it was an exact repaint of Tarantulas, where instead, this is an exact repaint of the more cartoon-accurate Black Arachnia. So basically, this is the show-accurate Black Arachnia if they kept her colors and her head sculpt exactly to the toy that existed in the 90s. Very odd look here, but surprisingly, it's actually not a bad figure, and I have previously reviewed this mold before, so I don't really need to go over every detail, but the painting is so vastly different here that it is definitely worth noting. Like, for example, the brand new head sculpt, which is meant to be based more on that Tarantulas Black Arachnia mold right there, and the obvious Jaguar thing right there. Everyone's talked about this mold many times and how crazy these colors are. But one of the things I do want to note that I actually do legitimately like about this figure, one, it does come with these orange legs here, and that means that I can actually go in and remove these arms and go ahead and swap them out with the cartoon accurate Black Arachnia, because the Black Arachnia in the animated cartoon had the orange spider legs. So technically I can now go and swap these legs out and give this one the black ones, which I'll go do right now. Easier said than done. I really feel like... Oh, not as easy as it looks. Oh, there we go. And yeah, I actually don't mind this this little spider leg like color swap thing here. Makes this Black Arachnia look a lot more accurate to the original cartoon, because again, these spider legs were orange on the original spider. And the black ones on here, I actually don't mind. The only thing that I feel like makes them stand out just that teeny bit is the fact that all the black parts on this figure are covered in this kind of dark blue metallic wash paint going over the black. So it makes the plain black spider legs kind of stand out a little bit because they are, they are just the plain black. But honestly, I don't think this is a bad look for this Black Arachnia. Going over the articulation, again, I've gone over this before, so I'll kind of go over it really fast. Ball joint at the head can move up and down. Shoulders rotate a full 360, can move in and out. Bicep swivel, ball joints at all the spider legs. Bend right here at the wrist, swivel right here. No waist swivel or anything. Hips move forward, they can move back, they move outward. She does get a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee that bends over 90 degrees. Knee pad here can shift. Ankles move up, they can move down, and they have ankle pivot. So pretty good articulation here on this Black Arachnia.
Boobies.
Now here's taking a look at who's considered to be the oddball of the set here. Here is the Headmaster Fangry. And one of the things I should mention about this figure, one, he's a headmaster, and for some reason he didn't come with any accessories either. I thought that was a little weird, but I guess they are counting the headmaster as an accessory, but that wasn't the main thing I wanted to talk about. The main thing about this figure that I did want to talk about, even though I don't get into articulation yet, yeah, his knees kind of suck. Taking an up-close look at Fangry's head sculpt. Again, very nice looking head. I like the green face with the green visor. The black looks very good as well. And again, it's kind of got that janky ball joint that the Headmaster's always had. You can obviously tell on the back of the head he's got those arms and legs. And, yeah, this guy does seem like a bit of an oddball choice to include in this 4-pack, but honestly, I like this figure more than a lot of other people did. For some reason, not a lot of people really liked this figure, but I actually do. One of the main things I like about him is they have this new part on him, which has the little iconic Headmaster stat thing right here with his speed, strength, and intelligence right there. And he's got the Decepticon logo, and this pink and black color scheme looks like it should be super ridiculous, but it actually works, especially because this is an 80s character and an 80s design. I actually like how this Fangry looks. Also, he's got this big old gargoyle head thing on the back, and you could technically have the wings spread out like this to give him a better, more cooler silhouette, but I honestly prefer to leave these folded up back here to cover that up, because now the wings have a nice little silhouette on the back, and they also help to cover up that gargoyle head just that little bit, so it makes it look like the kibble is part of him instead of it being a piece that looks tacked on. So he's got a ball joint at the head can swivel from side to side, shoulder can rotate a full 360, can move in and out, bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, no wrist swivel, no waist swivel. This front skirt moves up, legs can kick forward, can kick back, they can move outward. Thigh swivel, weak jointed knee. And then the ankle can bend outward. And then he has a ankle swivel, and that's about it. Oh, and also these wings can flap, like I said, but I prefer to leave them back there. And like I said, his head is removable.
Give me your faith.
And then it can transform into a little Headmaster. And yeah, that looks pretty good. This isn't the most boring looking Titan Master that I've seen from the, Headmaster. And now taking a look at my favorite figure of the entire set, and also one of my favorite figures of last year in general. This is the Transformers Nemesis Primal. First off, love the concept. I already loved the idea of an evil Optimus Prime as Nemesis Prime, but I also love Beast Wars. So combining the two ideas together to make a Nemesis Optimus Primal, I love this concept. I love this figure. And not just that, this figure also has some of the best paint apps ever that I've seen on most mainline Transformers. This guy even has a brand new masked Optimus Primal head sculpt. I love how it looks. The shiny metallic silver, the red eyes, the black head. It all looks really good. He's also got this nice metallic blue going throughout the figure. He's got his guns right there painted in the blue, and then he's got the highlights of the blue and silver throughout the figure, kind of highlighting the figure, especially this chest piece. That looks so good. He's got the Predacon logo right there, and then same thing here on the thighs and the crotch and down to the feet. Again, the silver looks great, and the black fur texturing is always a very nice detail. He even still has those little Prime arm cannons right there, and those are also painted up in that nice metallic blue as well. And then he does have the purple gorilla skin. We'll get to it more in the actual gorilla mode, but I do realize that it was kind of a weird choice, especially in the gorilla mode, but I honestly don't think it's that bad of a look, especially here in the robot mode. Going over Primal's articulation, he's got a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up and down. Not really pivot, but it can rotate from side to side. Shoulders rotate a full 360. He's got a little butterfly joint right there. Shoulders can move out, they can move down. Shoulder pad shifts, bicep swivel. Over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel. His hands can open and close. He does get a waist swivel. Hips can move forward, they can move back. He's got a butt flap that can move back that far. He can move outward that far. He does have a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee. He does have a slight swivel at the calf. And then he's got some nice ankle pivoting. And then a toe bend. And I was trying not to acknowledge it, but look who's back again. And all four of these figures with accessories in hand, with all that posability and detail, all look really good, but the Nemesis Primal definitely is the standout of all four of them. And then here is the Worlds Collide 4-pack compared next to their mold mates, except minus the Black Arachnia, because I already kind of showed off the Black Arachnias together earlier. So there's Tarantulas instead. And here is taking a look at the Bumblebee of the set. Honestly, his alternate mode is actually, even though it's not the classic Volkswagen mode, I actually don't mind it. It kind of is almost like a G1 version of the Michael Bay alternate mode, that Camaro, but obviously, I still would have preferred the Volkswagen, but hey, it doesn't look bad, and it literally looks exactly like the Goldbug's alternate mode, which I went over in, I think, a little bit more detail in the Shattered Glass video. It's literally just that same one, but in black and yellow. Now, normally Cliff Jumper and the Goldbug made this feature look really cool, but with the ridiculous colors of Bumblebee, that looks dumb. Let's move on. And here is taking a look at the Black Arachnia, at least with the black legs on it. And honestly, like I said before, I've reviewed this spider exactly the exact same one with the other Black Arachnia, so I'm not really going to go over it all that much. But again, that blue, that metallic blue over the black really shines out, and the colors are pretty concealed, I guess. No. The only problem is it doesn't feel as solid of a spider mode. It just constantly wants to explode and fall apart. Going over the spider mode's articulation, it's got some swivels right here, could move right there, it's got ball joints at the freaking legs, and I've reviewed this already. Now this is really where Fangry... Now this is where Fangry really shines. His robot mode wasn't all that bad with its color scheme, but honestly, it works really well with his beast mode here. I especially love the retooled head right here. It's got this like werewolf kind of look, or as I've been calling it, this is his gargoyle alternate mode, and the head looks really good, especially with those green eyes. Too bad I didn't review this set for Halloween, because this really has a Halloween-esque vibe to it. It's got the big gray dragon wings, the pink and gray color scheme surprisingly works well, and he has bits of organic detail poking out of the robot, almost like it's an organic monster wearing a robotic armor. Going over the articulation, the jaw can open and it can close, and nice metallic teeth in there. Shoulders can rotate, move in and out, bicep swivel, elbow, this wrist thing moves, I guess. Legs can kick forward, back, they can move outward. He has a bend at the dragon leg, and he's got some bend at the toes, and then flaps at the wings. That's really it for the Fangry right here. And then obviously he has the little Headmaster cockpit thing right in there, and you can just shove it right in there. And then here is the Nemesis Primal in its all purpley, grapey glory. The grape ape here looks pretty good. And I would have liked for them to have gone the extra mile and really retooled the head where it looked like he was baring his teeth. But honestly, I like the plain the red eyes here, which does give it a lot of difference. Looks very intimidating. And like I said, I wasn't that big a fan of the purple at first, but over the months that I've had this figure, it's actually grown on me. And obviously I have all of the weapons and everything out, because I feel like this is how the Nemesis Primal would look in his alternate mode naturally. Like, he wouldn't really be so concealing of who he is. But honestly, you can still just remove all of these and just slide those in, so then you can have a more cleaner looking gorilla mode. So going over the gorilla's articulation here, obviously I have it on its all fours mode, but you can have him stand up as well. His head's at a ball joint, which allows him to look left to right, up and down, and a little bit of pivot. Shoulders rotate, move in and out, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, hands open. Not really waist swivel because it's limited by that little hinge joint on the back. His legs can move around here. He's got like this forward bend thing at the knee. He's got a bit of a calf swivel. Ankles can still pivot. And then he has an inward toe bend, which I guess makes more sense as articulation for a gorilla, but not really for a robot. But yeah, pretty good looking gorilla, even though it looks kind of ridiculous. And then here is the mold mates to the Worlds Collide 4-pack compared with each other. And that is basically it for my review on the Worlds Collide... And that is basically it for my review on the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Worlds Collide 4-pack. It's actually quite a really good boxed set, but this boxed set originally retailed for, I think it was like $80 back in 2020, early 2021. And honestly, it's quite the really interesting boxed set, especially because it has Bumblebee, yes, but then it's got these really interesting repaints they just threw in. But honestly, I really like it. I'm not upset with my purchase, and I really do like the 4-pack, and each of the individual figures are actually really good, including the Bumblebee. Even though the Bumblebee isn't based on the Volkswagen, I actually still really like this mold. And then the Black Arachnia is alright. It's probably my least favorite of the set. And then I actually liked Fangry a lot more than other people did, and I think he's not a bad figure. And then obviously the Primal is my favorite of the entire set. So if I had to give each one their own individual ratings, I give the Bumblebee a solid 8 out of 10. The Fangry, I give a solid 7 out of 10. The Black Arachnia, more closer to a 6 or a 5 out of 10. And then the Nemesis Primal, I give a solid 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 10 out of 10 if I think about it more. It's just the only thing I really wish that they did that would have put it right over the edge is if they retooled the head with maybe his teeth baring, or I don't know. Maybe he is a 10 out of 10 because that Nemesis Primal head with the mask looks really good, and I really love this figure. So anyway, that is basically it for this review on the Worlds Collide 4-pack. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give me a like on the video. Comment down below what you guys think, and I need to thank you all for watching if you made it to the end of this video, because I understand with this being a 4-pack, it's a bit of a longer review, and I appreciate you all watching here to the end. Subscribe for more Transformers reviews, and I'll catch you guys next time.